Hello, my creative friends. Jessica Sanders here of ColorMeCreativeArt.com. Welcome to my channel. Today, let's paint a watercolor galaxy. So I started a challenge over on Instagram and Skillshare, and I wanted to continue it here on YouTube and share it with you and paint some watercolor galaxies. I'm attempting to paint 30 watercolor galaxies. And I'm not going to do it in 30 days because that's a little bit too short for me. I know I'm not going to paint every single day and be able to share it every single day. So I've given myself about 45 days to paint 30 galaxies. And this is one of them, so I wanted to share it with you. So you can see me laying down some really deep, dark colors. And then I'm just fading them out to be really light, because what I really want when I paint a galaxy is for there to be really high contrast. I want there to be the whitest whites and the darkest darks that I can achieve. And so I do that by starting on the outer edge with a really deep, dark, concentrated color. Now I'm using blues in this, but it doesn't have to be blue. It could be purples, it could be black, it could be whatever colors that you like, but that's just the way I like to do it. And then this one happens to be blue. And then I'm just adding in and softening the edges. I want everything to be soft. Now I do leave some plain white paper where I want the really brightest, lightest color. Like I want there to be actual white, and the white of the paper works really well for that. So you will see some small edges that maybe have a little bit of a harder edge. If you notice the little sort of white silver lining, if you will, on the right side of the painting, that's where I left the paper dry, and so it has a really kind of a little bit of a hard edge there, but I like the way it looks, and so I left it. Now sometimes I may completely soften every edge. It just really depends on how the painting goes as I'm painting it. Now you can see everything here, almost the entire piece of paper is very wet, and this is when it becomes a wet and wet process. And I'm just dropping in even more concentrated color, especially around the edges. I want the edges to be really dark. And I know that watercolor dries lighter, and since I know that, I know I can drop in even more color. I'm mixing in a little bit of teals and blues, a little bit of green, and there I decided I would soften that edge after all. Another thing I really like to do is lift the paint and pull it away from the white area. It sort of creates the idea that there's light shining there and it's affecting the surrounding area. So I do that quite often. Now I'm about to let this painting dry, and you'll see the colors lighten, and they're quite a bit lighter now, you can see. Now you see those little sort of starburst areas? That's where I dropped in just some clean water into the wet paint, and it pushed the pigment out and created those areas. And I kind of want to keep some of those, probably not all of them. So that's why you see me sort of painting around them, and then I will soften that area with a clean brush and clear water. And now I'm just continuing to add those darker colors to create that depth that I'm looking for. As I said, I really love the contrast that you can create by having this white of the paper and the really deep pigmented paint. I just think that's so pretty, and it's a lot of fun to do. So I mentioned at the beginning how I decided this would be a challenge, and I did not even realize it, but it started almost the same time as the 100-day project. And I made this a 30 painting challenge, but if I really enjoy it and I find it's working for me, I may just go ahead and turn it into a 100-day project. I really like to do projects. I'm kind of project focused, if you will, and so doing this really motivates me. I feel also the support you get from participating in these challenges is so much fun. So many people are doing it, and you can really connect with people, and you have something in common. I mean, you're all working towards something. You may not use the same medium, you may not have the same style, you may not be doing anything alike, except that you're all participating in this certain project, and it's just so much fun. So I want to invite you also to join me in my watercolor challenge. I'm using the hashtag on Instagram, hashtag JSA Galaxy Challenge 2018. So if you tag that on your Galaxy, I am definitely going to see it and I will come and check out your work. It would be great to see you there. And I will leave a link down below for you. So I'm just continuing to paint. I'm doing more lifting, adding more color, adding in more of that clean water to push that pigment out. You can really see it there on this layer. And again, you have to let it dry. That's the only thing. You cannot, with watercolor, it's great. It's an immediate medium, but if you want to layer it, you have to let it dry. And it looks really fantastic in layers. So then I added some stars with the toothbrush. That's acrylic paint that I decided to use. It's a little bit more opaque and I wanted that, again, it's that contrast. And then I took out my Posca pen and I drew some little starburst shapes and I tapped some of them out so that they would be more faded and blended in, and some of them are more defined, if you want to call it that, to stand out a little bit more. So this was so much fun doing this watercolor galaxy, and I'm going to continue, and I will have more videos for you, of course. So if you haven't subscribed to me, then be sure and do that. Click the bell if you want to know right the first immediately when I post a video, because then it will show up in your inbox, and that would be fantastic. Don't forget to share this with your friends and leave some comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Join me in the challenge and let's paint some galaxies. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.